Welcome to the India Fintech Diaries, the only podcast focused exclusively on the Indian fintech market. I'm Elroy.
And I'm Hemant. In each episode, we dive into the latest trends, ideas, innovations, business models, and personalities that are shaping India's fintech landscape.
We also invite amazing guests who are innovators and industry players that are driving the change that is helping make financial services more modern, innovative, and inclusive in India. Come join us as we explore the changing landscape of fintech in India. Welcome to India Fintech Diaries, the show for all things fintech. I'm your host, Elroy.
And I'm your co host, Hemant. So today, Elroy, we are diving into a topic that's incredibly close to my heart. The Indian government, if you see, has set up a very ambitious target of reaching $30 trillion by 2047. However, if you think about it, you cannot reach that target unless you also ensure that the women in the country are also empowered. And it has been proven that financial literacy and adoption of financial product plays a pivotal role in this endeavor. So, to discuss this very, very critical space, which is very critical for our country's growth, we are joined by Ridhi Doongursee, co founder director of LXME, India's first financial platform for women, empowering them to learn, ask, plan, and invest. Welcome to the show, Ridhi.
Hi, Hemant. Hi, Elroy. Thank you so much for having me. Excited to speak on this with you.
Great to have you on, Ridhi, as well. Ridhi, you've had a very fascinating journey as a serial entrepreneur. Can you share with us your entrepreneurial journey and how you ventured into creating Lakshmi?
Okay, so my entrepreneurial journey actually goes back a long way. I think my first foray into it was when I was in school. So we'd get these cards, Diwali cards, really beautiful
Yeah.
Diwali cards at that time, and stacks of them. So I made them into bookmarks and started selling them in school. Eventually, I got told off by the teachers, so I stopped. But I think just the creativity, the joy of making something new, always excited me. So that was a long time back. But coming back to the startup space, around 10 years back, right? And I did a computer science and business studies degree a long time back from Warwick. Realized the potential computers have, realized there are so many problems still not solved that technology can solve, right? And after that,
Right.
I worked at UBS, came back here, came back to India, worked in the manufacturing space. In the manufacturing space, realized there are some core issues again that technology could solve. So my first startup was Credit Monk. Credit Monk is like a trip advisor for businesses where businesses would rate the payment habit of other businesses. So
Okay.
everything in India works on credit. Every business sells to other businesses and they sell on 30, 60, 90-day credit, right? But the
Right.
sad part is nobody gets paid on time. In on Credit Monk, you could go look for a company, add their payment habit. Do they pay on time, or do they pay the complete amount? How much credit can you give them, right? And the way to monetization was lending. Now, when the government came out with a white paper restricting peer-to-peer lending, my silent partner and me, we decided to pivot and launched a B2B e-commerce platform called Industricals. So this was
Okay.
organizing the supply chain for electrical and property improvement retailers. So that went pretty well. We launched ground up across Mumbai and Maharashtra. And then basically it was acquired by my partners as part of the larger arm that they run. And post that, around 3 years, actually a little over 2 years back, is when I was speaking to Preeti. We were introduced to each other via a common friend who was actually advising me in my previous startup. And I think the concept of Lakshmi just fascinated me. So Lakshmi basically was an idea Preeti came up with during a course she was doing at Harvard Business School. She's been in financial services for over 2 decades
Right.
and realized that women are really not being served, right? And obviously she's built companies. I mean, one's done an IPO, the others are doing fabulously well. She was MD of Anand Rathi and realized across actually all the companies, women just are not a part. So that's how Lakshmi came about, basically as a safe space for women to start talking money. So Lakshmi, around 2 years back, started as a community, just as a community. We felt it's a need. Women should start taking charge of their finances, should feel comfortable talking money. But we wanted to validate whether other women agree. Luckily for us, women did agree. We had thousands of women organically joining that community. And that's how the Lakshmi Facebook community started.
So, first of all, I think our education system from the aspect of entrepreneurship is pretty messed up. They should
Yeah.
have supported you in doing what you were doing and given some more support on that. But coming back to the point of Lakshmi, now if you can, Riddhi, help us understand the, because you spoke about the problem which is there. If we have to dive a little deeper and understand what, for example, the current penetration of financial product is within women, and what is the size of the problem actually?
So, like we know, or we've seen enough surveys, while we have great apps in the market, financial products in the market, less than 10% of those are women, right?
Mm,
And which is very surprising. You women are digitally savvy, they're on WhatsApp, they're on smartphone, they're fabulous savers, but they're not accessing money apps, right? So we did a survey of 4,000 women with Access My India, right? And this was across geographies. The age group was 25 to 45, across personas, working,
mm,
non-working. And basically 98% of women in that survey told us they were not saving for their retirement. Now that's a really scary number, right? Can
mm,
you imagine? I mean, it's scary for the parent and for the child, right? Because
right.
what if the child cannot support you later on, or doesn't, or scary for the parent if the child doesn't want to support you? But that's reality. 98% of women were not saving for their retirement, right? 85%. Now, Indians are fabulous saver. We're a savings economy, right?
Correct.
And women, especially, are very good at saving. They will save money, they will have money in the cupboards, they will have money in the savings bank account, they will buy gold. But
Right.
as per the survey, 85% was saving in non inflation beating instruments, right? So they were working super hard, saving every rupee, every 5 rupees, putting that aside. But their money was losing value over time, right?
Right.
And when we surveyed women, and again, like I said, these are from metros across ages 21 to 45, 95% said they did not access any financial platform. So we all love Candy Crush. They were all playing games like that. They were all on WhatsApp. They were probably all on Insta, but they were not accessing a financial platform, right? And when you look at mass middle income India, it's a huge market. There's
Yeah.
460 billion in middle income savings. The mutual fund market is supposed to be $1.33 trillion dollars in the next 5 years,
Yeah.
right? But women were not being a part of it. How are we going to get to those numbers and actually grow unless women are part? So that's when I think it further hit us that what we are doing is really important. We really need to do this, and we really need to enable access to women of the financial markets.
Really, that's pretty interesting to realize the entire scale of the problem that is there. I think the important question for me then is what are some of the barriers that are hindering the higher penetration of financial products among women?
Okay, so I think while we all intuitively know, right,
Yeah.
uh, in a group, men will talk about money. They will talk about, "Arey, I've invested in this stock or that stock." Women are not part of that conversation. They don't come in and talk about that, right? There's this whole socio-economic conditioning that unfortunately women have had over the last few decades that's made them fearful of talking about money. They either feel they'll sound stupid, they either feel they'll be perceived as money minded, right? Or they're just uncomfortable. So, from a woman's perspective, she doesn't go out and talk about money. She is not comfortable asking questions. She doesn't feel safe. So, she'll just
Right.
go and either hand her money over to her father, brother, husband, or she'll put it in something she's seen her parents do, which is an FD,
Yeah.
right? So, this whole socioeconomic conditioning of women has made them feel very worried and scared in talking about it. And that's the first step. If you don't talk about money, if you don't learn about finance, and like you said, right, our educational system doesn't really teach you personal finance. I mean, it's such a critical life
Completely.
skill, but it's completely missed out. So where does a woman go learn? I mean, this it's amazing the some of the stories in our community. They're like, we've never felt we could go ask a question somewhere. This is the first space we feel safe in. So that's exactly what we built, a safe space for women and even men. Now,
Yeah.
men generally, actually, now where the world has moved, are changing. But we have had women say, we won't be allowed in our family to manage our own money, right? We've actually had, and it's really funny. We were speaking to some consultants, and their question was, "Do you think women will be allowed to take charge of their finances?" So we were quite surprised by that. But I guess that is the reality in some cases where
Right.
families don't, I mean, it's not normal for a woman to start talking money or taking charge of her finances.
Those are some very interesting insights into why penetration has been hindered so far. I also wanted to understand what was your thought process on how your platform would actually help solve for this, and how is Lakshmi helping to tackle this challenge?
So I think that's a great question, right? When you see all these other apps, the feedback, and when we spoke to thousands, like I said, thousands of women we spoke to before we started Lakshmi, what
Right.
they said is it's intimidating for us when we go into a platform and there are thousands of shares. They're like, we don't have time, right? We are managing kids, home. We anyway don't have that much financial knowledge. We've heard some scary stories. I put money in this stock and lost 50,000 rupees. So we don't have time. We don't have the confidence. We're fearful. For us, we don't want to take a risk with our money. So where do we even begin? So these apps, while they're great,
Yeah.
they're generally perceived as complex. They're like there's too many options.
Yeah.
One. Second is women need that safe space, right? They need some a support. Again, this is a whole emotional piece that they get comfortable with. So
Yeah.
the support you get on a traditional platform probably is not what they are looking for. So
Yeah.
that's what actually we do very, very differently at Lakshmi. So what we say is at Lakshmi, it's like it needs to be like a hug for a woman. She comes there, she's supported, she's not judged, and she's supported in how she's comfortable. If she wants to talk to her money buddies on WhatsApp, she can. She wants to speak to them on call, she can. She wants to just go post anonymously. She wants to go post on the community and say, this is my issue. Could someone help me? So, really, a very safe space is what they need. Secondly, simplicity, right? Like I said, the other apps, they find them very transactional or complex. So, what
Yeah.
we've learned from that and what we've ensured in Lakshmi is it's very simple, right? So, we don't have thousands of shares and thousands of mutual funds or thousands of investment options. We actually just have 10 curated baskets. And the way a woman thinks is for her, family security is most important, right?
Yeah.
The way it's curated is first family security. What are critical family goals? What are your critical life goals? Put them down here. We will match you to a basket. So once you put in, like we have calculators, they can put in what their goal is, they can put in what the amount is, and the rest we do for them. We match them to a investment portfolio, and then we guide them through the whole process. It's a very simple process. And again, the third is, I won't say they risk, actually, maybe they're risk averse, right? So we tell
Yeah.
them build your confidence by starting with as little as rupees 100.
Correct.
So I think they can come start when they're confident, they can then increase their portfolio amount. Once they're seeing the money growing, once they're comfortable with the support they've received, once they've spoken to other women. So that's
Yeah.
basically what we've created, a safe space, which is what I guess they don't feel elsewhere.
Got it. Got it. Sounds very much like also in terms of self-employment, the self-help groups that have done really, really well in our country in terms of supporting at least the rural side of women, trying to build them into small communities, and those communities then focus on not only creating livelihoods but also supporting them financially, giving them where to invest, how to take financing, and all that. So I think yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Now, if Riddhi, I have to at one go really understand, say if a woman lands up on Lakshmi as an app, what her typical journey would be like, what are the different products she will go through, what her investment journey will be, savings journey will be, is there credit as well or available? So if you can just list down the different products and journeys that a woman can look on Lakshmi, that would be really helpful.
Sure, sure. So most women actually start with the community. They first
Right.
come, and there's two personas. One, they'll come and ask a question, clear their doubts, attend live sessions, and the second will just observe. They'll look at other women asking questions, read their answers, and build their comfort.
Yeah.
Once they got their comfort, they actually then partake probably in our savings challenges. So we have lots of savings challenge. Women love saving. So we will set up a bucket like, a 50,000 or a 60,000 rupees savings challenge where we'll kind of have fun numbers every day where they can come save towards whatever goal. It could be towards buying a phone, towards setting up an investment, towards putting a lump sum towards a particular
Mhm.
life goal. So they come be a part of the savings challenge, and then obviously they start investing. In investing, like I said, we have 10 portfolios. These portfolios actually are a safety net that can cover all your life goals. So, from an emergency fund to a retirement fund to a child education plan to a tax saving plan, and a favorite, obviously, of our country, a gold saving plan,
Mhm.
right? So, it covers all your goals, whether short term or long term. And like I said, starting rupees 100. Now, we've also got a prepaid card, which is the Lakshmi Dream Card, where we curate offers for women. So we have brands like Reliance, Suta, various brands that come in and offer special discounts to the women who have a dream card. So it's like a credit card has special offers. We've got the dream card, which is a prepaid card that has special offers. The reason women love a prepaid card is multifold. One is there's a safety aspect. It's
Right.
not connected to your bank account. The second is you can actually set limits on it, right? So you know I am going to spend this much this month. So it's actually acts as a budgeting tool. And the third is the offers we have. So the third piece then we offer is also lending. Now, currently
Correct.
we're lending with partners. Eventually, what we want to do is really offer women centric loans where they get special benefits. So we're still
Hmm.
early on in our journey. These are the pieces that are live. And sorry, one more thing. So this is not a product we sell, but this is obviously, I mean, there's no charges for it, but we do a lot of literacy, right?
Hmm.
Okay.
This is via simple modules on the app. This is via one pagers, blogs, live sessions, Q&A sessions. Preeti does it, I do it. We have money coaches, money experts that come on the platform, how to plan for taxes, what's the best way to invest in gold. So we have a lot of educational and literacy courses that are open to anyone who joins the app. And women love this. We really simplify it. And another thing that we ensure, and obviously that comes because of Preeti's expertise, is we ensure we really give good advice. We never, just because crypto is the current rage, we don't go and just say, okay, come, you can invest in crypto, or it's like it's going to grow multifold. We make sure we educate the users about the benefits of regulated products, the risk associated with these new trends. So, very, very mature advice, right? The same kind of advice you would give to HNIs or those who have like portfolio management services. Enable that for like every single woman in India. So that's us. And going forward, obviously, we have lots and lots of plans. Eventually, we want to be like a one stop shop for women to do with everything with her personal finance. So anything she wants to do with her money, she should be able to do it on the Lakshmi app. So that's the long term plan.
Really, what is some of the traction that you have seen on Lakshmi since its inception?
So we've got about 400,000 plus downloads so far. We've got thousands of women who attend our live session, who attends our savings goal. We've got about at least, I think, 60, 70,000 individual investments
Yeah.
women have done in either in SIPs or lump sums. So yeah, that's a little bit about us so far. And I think what Preeti and me are also sure about is we want to build this out gradually.
Hmm.
While we can go for like a million downloads a month and have very low retention or just pump in money, I think we want to build a long term sustainable product. So I think that's really our aim over the next few years.
Now, since you spoke about that, like there are about 400,000 downloads already there. Thousands of women are attending the training sessions as well. So, what are the some very, very interesting observations that you've had in terms of maybe customer segments, their behavior, investment preferences? For example, gold is investment is very obvious, but considering that but a lot of these are colored by our biases as well, right? And once you start doing it, you realize some of them were just that biases. So, if you could just help us understand what are your like some interesting observations from the current run of Lakshmi till now.
So when it comes to financial products, I think what was very interesting for us is we've seen actually women invest majority in equity. So that was
Okay.
very good for us, right? Because generally they've invested in FDs, right?
Right.
Safe products, or left the money in a bank account or got gold. So majority of our portfolio is in equity mutual funds. We don't sell shares, stocks, right? So
Understood.
which is great, right? It's like we are seeing that shift. So we're seeing that our
Mm.
literacy program is working, where we say for long-term goals, it's important to also have access or to invest in the capital markets. So I think that's been one from a financial perspective, very interesting. The second is the change we have seen in how women talk once they've been on the community. It's like when you see how the conversations on our community early on, 2 years back, versus women talking now, it's amazing the change. They're now talking about different asset classes. They're talking about how their investments have grown. They're talking about the benefits of investing in the capital markets. They're asking about new products. They actually started asking even about crypto. So what we this huge change we've seen in the confidence for women to come start talking, get interested in it, and start actually investing is what we were amazed by and so happy with. And the third thing, we've had some amazing stories. I think so, as any startup, you go through some really tough days, but we just
Yeah.
pick up the phone and talk to some of our users, and there is so much gratitude. You tell them, thank you for being one of our initial users or our power users. They're like, I don't know why you're thanking us. Thank you for building Lakshmi. I wish this was there when we were younger. It would have been so different. I would have been able to invest my money so well. I could have really achieved so many dreams I had. And now you hear them saying, you know what? Nobody in my family has ever bought a car. I'm going to be the first woman to buy a car. Nobody in my family, no woman in my family has bought her own house. I just put down my first down payment for my own house because of how you've guided us. I mean, it's amazing the journey and the transformation we have seen in the women who've been a part of our community.
That's amazing and beautiful, because yeah, people say money can't buy you happiness, but at least it can get you very close to it.
Yes.
At least on the matters like houses, cars. More than that, I think it is just a representation of a more basic thing, which is this financial freedom,
Yes.
which it brings with itself, and the confidence that it gives to the woman is easily transpired into the other aspects of her life. So it is, I think, unfair that we see it as just saying, okay, if the money has come, it is good, but it is just not money. It is much more than that. It is the confidence that transforms them. So yeah, but recently actually I did some work for some non-profit in this space, and I completely resonate with what you have just said based on what I've just observed. Now, considering, Riddhi, that all this work needs to be, of course, self-sustaining over a longer period of time, what would be the broad revenue model for Lakshmi that it operates on?
Yeah, yeah. So I think that also is where Preeti and my experience comes in. From the start, we did not want this to be a burn model or an NGO model. This is
Okay.
definitely a company we're looking to scale. And while it has impact, we think financially it's extremely viable, right? Because women are very, very disciplined. There's high retention. They're very good with their money, right? So our revenue model is financial products. So we're distributors of mutual funds. You make revenue of that. Obviously, in lending products, you make revenue on that. Now, while we have had some revenue on our community, we actually don't charge any subscription. So, in the longer run, our community is obviously free, our literacy is free, and financial products is going to be how we make money.
A connected point to this, I just remembered an anecdote. So, to support, I know you are doing more urban, but this was for rural. There was this concept that people brought in, which is called returnable grant. So, they give like 10,000 rupees, no interests or nothing. And for 12 months, they will not even ask about the money, what you did with it, and how you're running the business. And they just hope that the woman will like pay the money back whenever they are done with it. And there is about 96-97% return rate. Just imagining if the same thing was done with men, it could be just my bias, but I'm very sure you would not get 96-97% of money back for sure.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. I mean, if it didn't impact your credit rating, you're probably right. Women are very, very conscientious. And that's why even if
Yeah.
you look at lending, right? And lending NPAs. Lending
Yeah.
NPAs for women are far lower.
Really pivoting a little bit, what do you think governments, regulators, and other market players should do to address some of the challenges we spoke about earlier? And how would they actually be able to help women in accessing financial services a little more than they do today?
So actually, that's been very, very, it's been very reassuring for us, whether it's the government, whether it's regulator, whether it's large corporates, everyone understands the importance of making sure women start taking charge of their finances, right? So whether it is RBI, NPCI, or via UPay, whether it's large UPI, via UPI, whether it's large corporates, they all are actually trying to ensure digitization for women. They're trying to support startups like us. I mean, we're in conversation with everyone, right? And building products for women. Now, what can they do? Of course, increase funding, increase awareness, increase literacy. And I think actually they're doing all of that.
Really, what can we expect from Lakshmi in 2024? Are there any new exciting product features or developments in the pipeline?
Yes, obviously, of course. There's lots of exciting things. So we've just firstly launched FD on our app because while I mean there is obviously high penetration of FDs, we've realized women are comfortable with it. So as a debt safety product, we've introduced FDs. The second one thing we've realized, right, is gamification. So we're doing lots of fun things on the app now. We've realized money causes anxiety for women, right? Generally, it's associated with anxiety or fear or confusion. So we're doing a lot of fun stuff on the app to make it more like, a Candy Crush. When you go there, it just
Right.
de-stresses you. So we're making Lakshmi a lot more fun, a lot more gamified to kind of associate happiness, joy, etc. with money and not anxiety that women generally feel. On the product front, there's a few things coming up. I think we'll share that with you maybe in the next podcast.
Excellent. Thank you, Ridhi, for sharing insights with us today. In case the listeners wanted to learn more about Lakshmi or get in touch with you, what's the best way to do that?
Just download the Lakshmi app. The Lakshmi app is available on Android on Play Store. So, and it's LXME. This is a little confusing. So we spell Lakshmi as LXME. You can also just get to our website lakshmi.in, lxme.in. It'll take you to the App Store, Play Store to kind of download the app.
Awesome. In fact, we'll include the links to both the iOS app and the Android app in our show notes so that people are very, very sure. And just if you are doing a Google for the name, do the Google as LXME. Thanks once again for joining us today, Riddhi.
Thank you so much, Elroy. Thank you so much, Hemant. And thank you so much for being a part of amplifying the need for financial services for women.
Absolutely, absolutely, Riddhi. So that's it from India FinTech Diaries this week. Do log on to our website, indiafintechdiaries.com, for show notes and other exclusive content. Until next time, stay safe and thank you.